What's up, everyone, and welcome back to The Well Way. I'm your host, Sam Beaver, and today we're going to tackle a question that many of us have asked ourselves at one point or another. I know I've been asked a lot, and that's, what's the hardest part of getting fit? Now, most people think the hardest part of getting fit is the actual workouts. The sweat, the grind, the intensity, and yeah, the physical effort is required. But here's the thing. The toughest part of getting fit is the mental aspect. It's the part of the journey where you're battling self-doubt, fighting against distractions, and pushing past the voices in your head telling you to give up. It's about sticking with the process, even when the results aren't immediate. It's about knowing what's truly hard isn't just what happens in the gym, it's what happens in your mind. So in today's episode, we're going to dive into the real challenges of getting fit. We'll talk about the mental side of fitness, why it's often the hardest part, and how you can push through it to reach your goals. Because here's the deal. You can't just go hard for a few weeks and expect the life-changing results. Fitness and health is a long-term game, and you need the mental strength to match that long-term commitment. So let's get into it. Let's start with something that I think is one of the most powerful tools in your fitness journey, and that's something called pre-framing. You've probably heard of reframing, right? Where you shift your perspective in the middle of a situation. For example, when you're in the middle of a tough workout, and your reframe is that it's an opportunity to grow instead of a painful experience. But pre-framing is different. It's setting expectations before you even start. And this is why it's crucial to talk about the hardest parts of getting fit before they happen. We do it with our clients at the well all the time. If you know that the journey will have tough moments, days when you feel unmotivated, days when the progress seems slow, and days when the distraction seems so much easier to follow, then you won't be blindsided by them. You'll know they're coming, and when you do, you'll have the mental strength to keep pushing. Pre-framing is what helps you understand that getting fit isn't about showing up at the gym and getting a killer workout in. It's about the commitment that stretches beyond the gym. It's about showing up day after day, staying the course, and staying focused. So here's the key takeaway. Expect the tough moments. When they come, you won't be surprised or discouraged. You'll be ready to take them on because you've mentally prepped for them. Pre-framing isn't about hoping everything goes smoothly. It's about being ready for the bumps in the road so that they don't throw you off track. The common misconceptions, hard work versus smart work. One of the biggest misconceptions I see is that people think that they have to push themselves to the limit every single workout. They think if I'm not completely exhausted or sore after every session, I'm not working hard enough. But here's the reality. The hardest part of fitness isn't about exhausting yourself. The true challenge is sticking with it consistently. And for most people, that doesn't require insane amounts of physical effort. It requires smart work and sustainability. Listen, if you're pushing yourself to the point of burnout, you're doing it wrong. In fact, most people will see better results from 5 moderate workouts a week for 90 days than from pushing themselves to exhaustion 2 to 3 times a week and burning out after a month. We see it happen all the time. So, don't get caught up in this idea that you have to crush it every single time you step into the gym. The real magic happens when you stay consistent day in and day out. Another misconception is the pressure to achieve a specific look, right? It's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to the bodybuilders or influencers you see on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, if TikTok's even a thing when this podcast comes out. But let's be honest, a lot of those physiques aren't realistic unless you're following a specific regimen, perhaps with supplements or some extreme measures like PEDs. And that's okay. But it's important to set the realistic expectations for your own fitness journey. Fitness is personal. It's about feeling strong and healthy, not about trying to match someone else's body. Align your goals with your reality. Fitness is about the process, not just the appearance. Let's dive a little deeper into the mental battle. So what I believe is the hardest part of getting fit is definitely sticking to a routine, overcoming mental barriers, and staying focused on the long term. Most people think that the toughest part is just getting started. But once you've made the decision to start, the next biggest challenge is keeping that momentum going. And that's the problem. Motivation doesn't last. It ebbs and flows. Some days you're pumped. Other days you'll want to skip. But the trick is not relying on motivation to get you through. Instead, rely on habits. The activation energy required to get started is real. When you're first starting, the hardest part is getting off the couch and actually doing something. I've been there. I gained 40 pounds, hated how I looked and felt, and it took me a while to start my fitness journey again. But the moment I decided that hating the way I felt was more painful than doing the work to get back in shape, that was the tipping point. It took mental effort, and it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Once you've made the decision to start, the second half of the battle is staying in the game. That's where consistency comes in, and habits. Motivation will come and go, but it's your daily habits that will carry you through. When you have systems in place, like setting a routine or having a coach or a fitness community to hold you accountable, those systems will keep you going when your motivation dips. Now let's talk about some other real obstacles that people face on their fitness journey. Time is a big one. We're all busy, work, family, life, and let's face it, it's easy to come up with excuses when you feel like you're juggling 100 things. But here's the truth. You make time for what's important. Health should be a priority. You can commit to 30 minutes a day, whether it's a workout, a walk, or stretching. Those small, consistent actions will add up over time. Next is energy. We all have days when we're just drained. The key is recognizing that working out will actually boost your energy. It might feel tough in the moment, but the payoff is huge. Working out releases endorphins, helps you sleep better, and actually makes you feel more energized in the long run. So if you're tired, just get started. You'll be surprised at how much better you feel once you get moving. And then there's fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of not seeing results fast enough. Fear is normal, but doesn't have to control you. When you face fear head on and show up anyway, that's when you gain confidence. You don't build confidence by just thinking positive thoughts. You build confidence by showing up, taking action, and proving to yourself that you can do hard things. So how do you overcome these obstacles? First, get clear on your goals. What do you actually want to achieve? Why do you want to achieve it? Having a strong why is crucial. If your why isn't strong enough, it's easy to let the obstacle stop you. Second, make accountability a non-negotiable. Find someone, a coach, a friend, a community who will keep you on track. Tell them your goals and ask them to check in with you regularly. Accountability will push you to stay consistent even on those days when you don't feel like it. Next, focus on building habits, not relying on motivation. Habits are powerful because they work for you even when motivation fades. Make your workouts a part of your daily routine and start small. If you're struggling to stay consistent, don't try to go all in on. What I'm trying to say is, when you're struggling to stay consistent, don't try to go all in at once. Start with something simple like committing to 3 workouts a week. Once that becomes a habit, add more. Even if it's committing to 1 time a week and building to 3. You'll see awesome success from that. And finally, pre-frame the challenges. Know that the tough days are coming and be prepared for them. When you expect them, you won't be surprised. And when they do come, you'll be ready to push through and keep moving forward through. So here's what I want you to do today, right after this podcast. Take 5 minutes, write down everything that's holding you back from being in the best shape of your life. Then, for each barrier, write down 1 actionable solution. No more excuses, your health depends on it. To wrap it up, getting fit isn't about just pushing yourself in the gym. It's about committing to the long haul, facing mental and emotional challenges, and staying consistent. When you show up, even when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you can do this. And that belief, that's what will drive you to success. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. Keep showing up, keep staying consistent, and let's keep training for life. And then I think this is also the part of the podcast where I'm supposed to tell you to like, subscribe, review, whatever you want to do. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, and I hope this helps. See you in the next one.